Okay. Hi, everyone. This is me again. Today, we've come up with a new book by Miano. I'd like to present to you. The book is called Crépuscule du Tourment by Leonora Miano. I think you can see the title, the cover of that book, Crépuscule du Tourment by Miano, published by Grasset. And of course, it came out in 2016. Miano writes interesting narratives to read. Sometimes difficult to follow. Sometimes it's just much easier to read. I think I struggled a bit with Crépuscule du Tourment, the book I'm talking about today. I read before that one. I read this one called Contour du jour qui vient. This one was pretty swift. It was swift reading. It sailed through. This one came out, if my memory does not fail me, it came out in 2006, and it won the Prix Féminin in Paris, of course, Miano, Contour du jour qui vient. This is basically the story of those abandoned kids in the streets of Kinshasa, the DRC, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, whereby parents in these new denominations that are sprouting throughout the continent, where you have got plenty of those false prophets promising us doom and gloom for the near future. You never quite know where the guys, spring from. Anyone today can just be a prophet, and they would just can bamboozle people around. And many of those false prophets have been responsible for a number of family failures, family devastations, because then they would come up with the idea that, oh, now look, if your life is a misery, it's probably your firstborn or your eldest son or daughter who is possessed by the devil. So the idea is, of course, if you want to fend better in your own life as a mother or as a woman, you have to get rid of those children allegedly possessed by evil. And of course, they become some sort of satanic kids thrown out of the family abode by their own mother and their own fathers. This is the case, of what Miano talks about in this book, Contour du jour qui vient. Those abandoned kids, that they become kind of orphans without being orphans, really. They're homeless children. This is the story of the homeless kids in the streets of Kinshasa, where, of course, they've been victims of all sort of social evil in the street. The sleep rough and all those things. things that you just cannot quite understand. So that is Le Contour du jour qui naît. That one came, we said, in 2016. And then we have gotten the one here, which is called La Saison de l'Ombre. Another one of Miano that I have happened to read. This one came in 2013. Oh, sorry. This is the one who got the Femina prize, not the other one here. This is the one which came out with the Femina prize in 2013. This is the story of basically of the slave trade, where Africans, right, in the book, would raid villages, entire villages, in search of slaves to be sold to the slave masters on the African coast. So that this is the journey of people from their safe villages in the thick of the forest and being sold away to other slave traders who would eventually sell them into to the white slave traders who would just send them over to the United States, to Latin America, to work as slaves. This is La Saison de l'Ombre. Okay, but that's not the one I'm going to talk about today. The one I'm going to talk about is here. It is again Le Crépuscule de Tourment, which came out in 2016. I went into the details of the narratives, which is a bit kind of a bit sketchy. The reading is sketchy because you have got so many stories within the same story, very, very closely, very tightly intertwined. At times you feel you lose the thread, you lose the grip on the narrative structure of the book. So it's been a bit bumpy, and in even pulling together the different elements from the book to make it a readable and sensible summary has been, as far as I'm concerned, it has been quite a challenge, I think. But I came out with a couple of notes. I will see whether they work. I mean, if what I'll be saying here is not clear, it means that the whole enterprise has been a failure. But those are things that we should not dread. I mean, life is made of ups and downs. Times where at times come up with something which is swift, easy, and clear, and very visible for everyone. And at time, we tried to come up with something. It was the reading for me was very not easy at all. But I tried to come up with something which may help other people to read that book. So that is the introduction.